Embrace your sexuality. To the nice guys, AFCs, chumps, and assorted miscellaneous confused males. Sirs, let us have a little talk on the spirit of sexuality. This might trouble you, to be sure. It might anger others, which is most certain, but the stubborn fact remains that you cannot be successful with women ever until you embrace your sexuality. Yet until now you were not interested in sexuality. Rather, you wanted to hear more philosophies, more tricks and tactics to be placed in your quiver of dating. It is as if to say, yes, these guys that are getting all the girls are all very well and good, but what philosophies should we deploy to get the women? We purchase bits and pieces of philosophies on this site like we are in a dating Walmart. We, however, enjoy being the dorks we are, and wish only for more philosophies to add to our arsenal. How blind you guys are. Now I wish to ask you a question. Go ahead, Pook. You see that female over there? No, not the thin one. Not the one with the long hair and curvaceous body. I'm talking about the large one, in front of the ho-hos. Yes, her hair is an absolute mess. She has no sense of style. She keeps many pets and spends extraordinary amounts of money on them. Personality? She is bitter. She enjoys philosophy just as you do. Why, she is going to become a feminist. Is she a woman? Pook, of course not. She is female, that can be proven. But do not call such a thing a woman. If she is not a woman, what is she? Hag. Whore. Walrus. Witch. Titanic. Ah, she is an androgynous. Androgynous females do not look like girls or act like them. 3 professors of mine, who I have talked to about their past and their regrets, told me they were clueless with women, even though they knew everything about the Elizabethan period, the history of the Supreme Court, and the philosophical ruminations in the 19th century. Despite that, they married the woman I described above, despite how brilliant they were. Other guys block their sexuality by being nice. Sexuality is disrespectful and makes me look like a pig. In the end, these nice guys end up being thought up as an ass by women and treated as one. If you want to avoid this type of fate, read on. Embrace your sexuality. This guy has no problems talking to women except for those he desires. The desire sabotages him and wrecks him completely. Listen, we can hear him. I feel so guilty. This is like I don't respect them. This is painful. I feel like I'm using them. I feel dirty doing this. Oh, poor guy. His problem is not the women, but himself. Why is he feeling guilty? Why does he think he's being sinister? Look, we are going to see him 10 years from now. Behold! The guy is 10 years older, but still has no girl. He has a decent job, a decent life, but it seems meaningless without a girl. He becomes bitter. He is angry at life. If only he could fix whatever problem 10 years earlier. How much joy and bliss would he be in this life? This guy's life has been like the hard desert, with painful arrows constantly peppering him from the blazing sun. He wanders, aimless, seeing an oasis in that beautiful woman who only sees him as a friend. The beautiful women, the ones he wants, are like mirages. He thought they would finally end his painful wandering and lead him into that promised land of bliss. Oh, if he could only find one! All the pains would end. The key is to realizing that the problem is not the women, not the situation, but himself, and only himself. Now he stands in the desert, but lo and behold, a heavenly rain has cascaded from the sky. The dryness of loneliness, the ever-constant thirst for affection, is quenched with the blissful rain. What was the one thing that caused the rain that quenched his thirst and cooled the heat? It was to embrace his sexuality. If you cannot embrace your sexuality, you can never be a Don Juan, and you can never be happy in life. Are you a guy? Take a look in the mirror. Chances are, if you are at this website wondering the hows and whys, then you are not a guy. But I forget myself. Let me introduce my prop. Thus enters Nerd Boy. Why, hello, Nerd Boy. Look at you, pocket protector and all. You have glasses and look like a drone. Your clothes don't match. Heck, your clothes don't even have any personality. You are so mental that you cannot grasp the ways of the flesh. Just as you thought the fat chick was not a woman, women will not think this Nerd Boy is a guy. Why? He isn't fully human. It's obvious he hasn't had any contact with womaniverse, which is sexuality itself. He will make excuses. I am very handsome. Which is true. A handsome drone is he. I am a genius. I have a great job. Oh, poor Nerd Boy. Women do not possess the faculties to see beauty as men do. Women do not care for your intellect or masculine chatter. The guy that woman is with may be ugly, may even be stupid, but he is absolutely sexual. Nerd Boy is blind to sexuality and therefore blind to life. Sexuality problem number 1. Looks. Are you ugly? Are you beautiful? It doesn't matter. Women do not see beauty. They only see sexuality. So how does a sexual male look? To put it bluntly, it is the badass. This guy has the look of power, be it a shaved head, leather coat, professional corporate suit, backwards cap, a well-toned body, spiky hair, or whatever else. This person looks like a guy. He is not androgynous. He knows what his sexuality is and embraces it. How is a guy supposed to look? To be a male is to drive against nature, to pierce her. He is not a pretty boy, though this might get some girls too. It is almost a rough look. A guy has a look of some masculinity about him. How to look like Brad Pitt. No, I didn't mistype that. One girl I knew saw Brad Pitt on TV and orgasmed. He looks so good. But Brad Pitt's effect has nothing to do about looks. Brad Pitt is a very symmetrical union of the two sexualities, male and female. He looks innocent, but also as a badass, sweet but rough. Smooth yet rugged. Elegant but strong. Pook, this is a contradiction. No, it is not. It is well known that women like guys who have some feminine aspects, the pretty boys. To get the Brad Pitt effect, you need to figure out where you are on the sexuality scale, though many males like Nerd Boy aren't on the scale at all. If you are a feminine male, you are probably thin, innocent, modest, shy, pretty boyish, curls for hair, and have an almost aristocratic style about you. The masculine male is muscular, large, loud, motorcycle, has a goatee or shadow, has a sporty or outdoorsman style to him. Now that you know where you are at, simply add in elements of the other. Some guys, when they go on to manhood, carry a piece of adolescence with them. These are the guys that end up with the Brad Pitt effect, though you can make it your own. Compare this to Nerd Boy. He looks at them and thinks how much smarter he is. But is he smarter? No. They may not know their calculus, but they know their sexuality. When women flock to these guys, the nerd boy only stands there in awe. Sexuality problem number 2. Personality. Come here and talk to the lovely lady, nerd boy.
Hi, how are you?
Creepy.
I will do anything for you, lovely lady.
I'm sure you will, nerd boy. But when a guy has embraced his sexuality, he treats the women like they are children.
But Pook, that is not politically correct.
Fool. This is sexuality, which is above and beyond your petty philosophies and politics. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. He does not take the women seriously. Why should he? He is a man, after all. He has a sense of self. He is a monad. He doesn't need anyone to define himself. But embracing one's sexuality means enjoying it. You do not look at the woman as work or as a riddle to be solved. No, you go in and have fun. You do not dwell on boring subjects like Nerd Boy here does. So what we end up with is a type of cocky and funny guy. D'Angelo covers this subject quite a bit, but you will never be cocky and funny by intentionally trying to be cocky and funny. You are not a chick putting up a facade. No, be a guy and so act like a guy. Here, gentlemen, is a ballerina. She has just told you of all the things she does, how she dances, and everything like that. What is your response? Nerd boy.
Wow, that is really interesting. Tell me more about the fabrics and the spiffy colors of the pageant, the dance moves. Tell me everything.
Guy. You must have really strong legs. It is as simple as that. Some guys cannot control themselves and start being blatantly sexual to the poor women. This, of course, is unattractive to the ladies. It is not being rude or blatant. It is to realize that sexuality is not contained in the bed and is part of every interaction you have with the woman. Look, she is touching you. This is good. Touch is sexual in itself. Kino is a sign of interest. If you kino a girl too soon, it can backfire on you. You no longer remain a mystery to her. The game is up. She knows you want her. But if she thinks you are not interested in her and you want to say you are, you kino her. Kino is a form of womanese for I am interested in you. When you kino the chick understands perfectly what you are saying. Kino is communication. Using it to create interest, which may not be there, rather than as communication will backfire. However, failure to receive or initiate kino makes one sexually a mannequin. Know why? Because mannequins do not initiate kino. Bad. Hey, I'm Flirty Boy. Touch, touch. You look so cute in that outfit. My goodness, you must get compliments all the time. And Flirty Boy continues to flirt. Right. Hi, I'm Mr. Right. Some small talk. What's your number? A guy does not flirt with chicks unless he is working, and thus captive, and has nothing else better to occupy his mind. A guy asks out the chick to show he's interested. Sexuality problem number 3, dating. What to do, what to do? Poor Nerd Boy. He cannot invite the chick over to view his computer together. So he thinks,
what do males do to court the lady? Dinner, of course.
Nerd Boy and his chick eat their meal. But Nerd Boy, I'm sorry to interrupt, how are you different than any other male? Look, there goes your woman, never to talk to you again. She said you were boring. Alas.
But I gave her dinner. She ought to like me.
But any guy can give her dinner. Can you give her dinner, trash heap guy?
Yes, Pook, I can buy her dinner.
And what say you, Mr. Nice Guy?
I can buy her dinner also.
And Mr. So Suave, what about you?
I can also buy her dinner.
There is no difference. Any male can buy her dinner. Heck, any female could buy her dinner.
So what do you suggest, Pook?
Action dates. Do not sit there talking. She can do that with her girlfriends. Guys, on the other hand, are all about action. Real men are not making dinner. They are swimming rivers and climbing mountains. Find something action-wise and get her involved.
But Pook, I enjoy sitting in front of my computer all day and don't like action dates.
Learn to like them. Look, are you even living? There are brilliant things out there to enjoy and do. What are you wasting your youth on? Sitting in front of a computer? Sexuality problem number 4. Love shyness. Grab your white coats, gentlemen, and follow me. Pook and the others go down the hall and turn to the left. Ah, now we are at the testing room. Behind the window is where we will experiment. They will not see us, gentlemen, for they will see only a mirror. Here we can peek in on the outside world.
But Pook, what is the experiment going to be?
Patience, indeed. Let us begin. A man was in the room, and all was well. Then, all of a sudden, a gorgeous woman enters the room. The man snuck glances. Soon the woman got tired of this game, and she came over to speak to him. Focus, gentlemen. Watch how he responds. Again. Stop. Remove the woman. Quarantine the male. We cannot risk the possibility that his error is contagious.
Yes, Dr. Pook. Right away, Dr. Pook. Anything you say, Dr. Pook.
It is so nice when they do what you ask. Now, display the data on our subject. The screen flashed up the male's brain map. Good heavens, I was afraid of this. His entire frontal lobe is severely damaged. Gentlemen, to show you the extent of the damage this male labels as shyness, let us look at it through the woman's perspective.
Not womaniverse.
Yes. Okay, she walks into the room. She knows the guy is checking her out. Guys, the girls are more clever than you think. They will spot you if you check them out. If you like a chick, she will eventually know it. So the chick decides to talk to the guy. And the guy didn't seem capable of conversation. Why, he just mumbled and bumbled about something. What did he say? It doesn't matter. Look at how he said it. He wasn't speaking. He was farting from his mouth. Now, what was the woman thinking? A gentleman appeared at the data and looked up, stunned.
She thought he was brain damaged.
Exactly. And you know what? He was. She is right here, and he is wrong. He knew something was wrong, but he can't figure it out. The problem is Descartes. Yes, old Descartes thought that he could divide the mind and body with his philosophies. Descartes thought that human beings were composed of physical bodies and immaterial minds. That blasted Dutchman Spinoza disagreed. Why, to Spinoza, feeling was not opposed to reason. Rather, feeling was an accomplice. With Spinoza, mind and body are not two, but one. Some believe in a third way, which is Freud. Freud believed that this young male's reaction was because of repression. I'm sure you've heard it before.
That guy's going to turn into a playboy because he was sexually repressed.
But this is nonsense. We are humans, not caged animals. It is impossible to turn off all emotions in rational decision-making. A girl can be hot, but what does that matter unless you mentally acknowledge it? Ever have a particular girl you kept thinking about? Lust is not just fleshy. Lust is both mental and fleshy. The point is that Spinoza was right and Descartes was wrong.
Pook, is there a purpose to this?
There is, and it is in that young male. When the beautiful woman came into his orbit, he tried to compartmentalize. A wave of emotion came over him. He fought against it rather than accepting it. And so the result is a guy that just stands there like a mark with a whole army shooting at him. Logic is to this universe as feeling and conversation is to womaniverse. The woman thought, typical male, and went off to find a worthier recipient. Do you want to get rid of your shyness? You're going to have to open up and get out of your solitary shell. Sure, you can deploy tactics and maneuvers and turn women into a piece of mathematical equation, but in the end, you are still in your same shy, philosophy-obsessed world. You just destroyed her and turned her into a part of philosophy to absorb. Instead of dehumanizing the woman, why not humanize yourself? Sexuality problem number 5. Lack of experience.
No experience, no job. No job, no experience. It is like that with women.
Oh, foolish lad. She doesn't care if you are still running on virgin or not. The only problem is that you have a problem with it. Some guys worry about their experience, worry about stupid labels.
I am still a virgin, though.
So what? Despite what the movies portray, sex is not life. If you have a problem with it, it is guaranteed that she will. Stop worrying. Sexuality is not a philosophy to learn. It is more like a dance. Some males get it, others don't. Do not demand philosophies of sexuality. You will only end up destroying it. And if you ask for a theory to create another philosophy to be stacked in a bookish format to further continue your ego as a great thinker, consider yourself chained to this website forever. Embrace your sexuality and embrace life. On embracing sexuality. This is an excellent discussion post. One thing we hear all the time from people is that, go out and immediately get laid, then you won't have any trouble with women. Or, go get a prostitute so you can stop being a virgin, then everything is easier. Or, go out into the action realm and everything else will get better. Your post defies those solutions and shows that instead of just saying go out and get experience, then everything will work, that we need to work on our inner realm, and then the outer realm will fix itself. Commenter Antidump says, beautiful women will hide their feelings. This is so true. This is also why you can't sit around and look for signs. Antidump really helped me when it came to the beautiful women, especially the beautiful, innocent women. Whereas most women would now be revealing her feelings for me, they do not. I can only know if they are interested by their actions, which is yes to the phone number and yes to the dates. Now you are on a date with a beautiful, innocent woman. What do? Since women already see me as a sexual being, I don't keno. But just as there is a plane of sexuality with touching, fondling, and kissing, this is seen, there is also another plane of sexuality which is unseen. This unseen plane means things like voice tone, eye contact, a literal connection. Desire is what will get you the beautiful, innocent girl. However, this desire needs to be transmitted along this unseen plane. Let me give you an example. I was rejected by this one girl that I really liked, which originally sent me to this forum. This was 4 years ago. She is the perfect example of the beautiful, innocent type. What could I do? You can't just go up to her and start grabbing things. How do you create intimacy with a beautiful, innocent type? Through desire. Let her know you want her. But didn't you say you ought to be desireless? Well, when you were a nice guy, how were you showing your desire? Through flowers? Through declarations of love? By talking to her all day? Our romantic machine is broken when that happens. And the only way to fix it is to turn off our desire. Okay, now we aren't doing these stupid sappy things. Now we have to rebuild the romantic machine. Now, when your romantic machine gets turned back on, you do not display your desire on the seen channels through flowers, gifts, chocolate, poetry, but through the unseen realm. Eye contact, voice tone, getting to the point, etc. I started eye contact and never looked away except to eat my food. People think eye contact is simply staring into someone else's eyes. It isn't. Eye contact is displaying your desire into her eyes. I let it all out. All my desire I've had for her, all the frustrations she's caused me. I'm on this website because of her. All the work that she put me through. I said not a word of it, but she knew every bit because she saw it in my eyes. She melted and melted and melted. She returned the eye contact. The next step is to see if the conversation is flowing. Is she laughing? Is she lust drunk? She should be giggling like a little girl with her eyes caught into yours. Do the D'Angelo test of brushing her hair with your fingers. If she's susceptible to this, kiss her. Then slowly move around her face, keynoting the back of her head. If she likes that, keep kissing her, then slowly move around her face, keynoting the back of her head, her arms, wherever, and keep the desire up. Do not let it go. In order for the girl to melt, there needs to be a fire. The fire in your eyes, the fire in your lips, the fire in your touch. This is how a woman wants to feel. It is in the moment. She feels truly female, for she has been desired and is now being acted on. There is a reason why women have a fantasy of being in a crowded room and a guy locks eye contact with them. Is it the eye contact? No, it is his desire for her. She loves being desired. Oh heavens, it makes her feel like a woman. Beautiful, innocent women's role in nature is to be desired and not desiring. So next time you are with that girl, let it all out in your eyes and watch what happens. She may start off all wooden, but in the end, I guarantee she'll be cookie dough. Eliminate desire or not? I replied to this a long time ago, and it used to be in the archive. I guess now that since it isn't, the question comes up again. Quote by commenter DJ Dreamer. The guy that wrote Embrace Your Sexuality is the same guy that wrote Kill That Desperation. The author is Pook. His excellent rhetoric provides camouflage for his contradiction. It's not possible to be horny and not needy at the same time, unless, of course, you're a think about sex and have no sex sexual. Some people ask, why does Pook hammer the same points again and again? Just read the above. There is no contradiction. Keep in mind also that the time between those posts was years. I'm a bit wiser now, but the same principle applies. Look at it like this. Years ago, when I first came to this forum, I was a nice guy. How am I going to get the women? One thing I said back then was keynoing. I said it because it worked. I said, keynoing turns you into a sexual being to her. If you do not keynote her, she will see you sexually as a mannequin. Why? Because mannequins do not initiate keynote. Years later, I do not keynote a chick, certainly not on dates at first. Contradiction! Pook is contradicted. What you're forgetting is that after years, I am no longer that old nice guy. The nice guy comes across to the woman as boring and sexually as zero. Nice guys also seem safe. So when I start keynoting and stuff, I got an instant reaction from her. Why all of a sudden am I a sexual being? One difference from those old nice guy days is that I've gained 30 plus pounds of muscle mass, dress better, talk better, and am more confident. I am already a sexual being. If I start kinoing a girl now, I will be seen as coming on too strong and too desperate. This is why I now agree with commenter Antidump in that archived thread. I'm not for or against kino. I also wouldn't recommend nice guys to act like how I am now. So now I disregard talking about kino or how you say things and just talk about sexuality. I'm already a sexual being now. There is no need for me to kino a girl. She will know I'm a sexual being already. I do not need to touch her. But the nice guy needs to embrace his sexuality. He is a sexual dud. You need to look, act, and think like a guy. If I put up a sexuality scale, some guys would be at low sexuality, nice guys, while some guys would be at the higher end. I honestly can't say the specifics of how one should act or say to a girl because everyone is different and at different points on this scale. For the nice guy, kinoing goes a long way, but for me now, it is overkill. The desireless is to be not needy. You want her, but do not need her. This is a big difference. Desperate guys need a girl to complete themselves, to make themselves feel happy. I say these guys got it backward. They ought to complete themselves and make themselves happy, then go for the chicks. Notice the order. Notice the order? Get your life together, make yourself happy, then go for the chicks. Some people complain that it is work. Well, what is the point of having a girlfriend or a fleet of women if you have no direction in life and chronic melancholy? Defeats the purpose. Women are to enhance your life. Fools think the women will define their life. I think 90% of all the problems on this board is because they mix up the order. On shyness. As a formerly extremely shy person, I can say that shyness is not a form of insecurity. In other avenues than in person, shy people can be extraordinarily confident. It is entirely possible to be confident but be introverted. It is also possible to be insecure but be extroverted. No, shyness is thinking that everyone is looking at you. It's a form of junior high school following you. If you get up from your seat, people will look at you. You speak up, people will look at you, and so on. This means that you'll be less likely to speak up, less likely to get up, and since every time you do, you think you walk on a stage and everyone will notice you. What shy people need to realize is that you could walk in front of a bus, get thwumped, and no one would really notice. No one is going to care about what you do or who you are. You are not a celebrity. You do not have cameras pointed at you. You are not important. You are nothing. Shyness is also confused with hesitation. Hesitation is usually a result of unfulfilled desires. As humans, we yield to less pain rather than more pain. Should I approach her? We yield to what we think is the less pain and not approach. Hesitation is solved when we realize that inaction is more painful and that rejection is better than regret. Your number 2 of a job was one of the things that helped me. More interestingly, I worked with only women. Aside from getting used to women, I got to figure out what was going on in their minds. Every day was a religious experience. Good post, but I don't think number 4 will help the shy people. Usually shy people are pretty smart, since they are reading and such, rather than socializing. Usually shy people are pretty smart, since they are reading and such, rather than socializing, and many will think the clubbing and dancing scene is stupid, which is fine, we all have different tastes. As long as you go out and do something you like, rather than where you think the girls are, you'll do fine. I'd take a museum, opera, or art gallery over any club, but that's just me. And tons of chicks are there too. Not everyone is into the clubbing scene. On the Don Juan chat, I saw this problem come up numerous times. It wasn't that the guy was scared of rejection. He was scared of success. Pook, what do you mean? Why be scared of success? Because if she said yes, he didn't know where to go. What should they do? He had no idea. This is why before you can start to date women, you must be able to date yourself. That's right, date yourself. Try going out to these places by yourself or with friends first. This will make you more comfortable. You already know the place, are comfortable with it, and know what to expect. This is important since when you are with a girl and new to it all, it is enough for the shy guy to be out with the girl, let alone in a new and strange place. This will make your job a lot easier. This makes you prepared. You can speak of the places where you want to go with confidence and ease. You know the route and the best way to drive there. You know what the costs will be, what the environment will be, so you know how much money to take and what to wear. For the shy guys wishing they were girls, this is why you should be thankful you are a guy. You get to know beforehand where you want to go so you have all the time in the world to be prepared. This makes you have fun. With you being comfortable and prepared, already your time will be more enjoyable, since you'll have all the shy guy worries put away, like what to wear, the cost, what the environment is, and so on. You get to focus on her and have fun with her. Good luck, guys. Don't let anything steal your joy.